Timecop is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Shout Factory. It can be found as a slipcover edition available at your online retailers. I really enjoy movies with time travel, and though there are some interesting ideas this film has, I do feel it's not utilized great. Outside of a brief visit to the Civil War in the 1920s, most of the film bounces between 1994 and 2004, which is a wasted opportunity. Jean-Claude Van Damme is fun as always, and there is some solid action. The late Ron Silver is good as the mustache-twirling villain. I just wish the movie itself lived up to its potential. Timecop on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has an aspect ratio of 240:1 with native 4K resolution, and it supports both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. For purposes of this review, I will be discussing the Dolby Vision transfer. Not much information was provided by Shout Factory for this release, aside that it is a result of a scan from the 35mm original camera negative. The source condition is in largely good shape. I didn't witness any egregious blemishes or imperfections. Film grain is about medium in density and doesn't look to have been managed or DNR'd. While I would say that it definitely presents a better looking picture over its Blu-ray counterpart, I wouldn't say it's a revelation. Some of the era-specific digital effects do show their age, and time has not been kind. Those scenes were natively scanned in lower resolutions to try to match the digital renderings, and as a result, some of those sequences look pretty rough. One of the most notable examples is when, late in the film, Walker travels through time and ends up in front of an approaching truck. The source looks pretty ugly, quite frankly. While the bulk of the film doesn't show those shortcomings often, it's obvious. Image clarity, however, as a whole does offer some improvements over the old 1080p picture. Live elements, especially in those bright day sequences, allow for better overall detail. Mid-level shots show appreciable gains as well. Both HDR and Dolby Vision are supported, and the results offer marginal improvements to the palette. Nothing game-changing in a visual sense. Once again, the brightly lit scenes give some bit of flourish, though dimly lit areas are a bit more reserved. Director Peter Hyam typically acts as his own cinematographer and often shoots and thrives in more darker environments, as well as the case with the pair's next collaboration, Sudden Death. So night scenes and darker interiors are at times exceedingly deep. The image occasionally tiptoes the line of Crush quite a bit, and if you're familiar with the director's work, this shouldn't be too surprising. Timecop on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports a DTS 5.1 audio mix as well as a 2.0 stereo track. Ouch, now talk about a disappointment. I wish at the very least I could say this was a direct port for the existing Blu-ray's audio track, but that definitely doesn't seem to be the case here. Talk about neutering an audio mix. Oh, how they've massacred my boy. I've owned this film on physical media since the Laserdisc days, and that one always had a hefty audio mix with a very punchy LFE. On the Blu-ray, it was still very good, but not as aggressive. Here on the 4K, something is certainly amiss, as it generally feels hollow, less dynamic, and fairly bland. Immediately noticeable, I had to turn the volume up, which in itself is not a cause for worry necessarily, but the opening sequence during the holdup of the Confederate soldiers filled me with dread, as the track was just struggling audibly. If someone was new to the movie now that it's on 4K, I could see why they wouldn't think anything was wrong. Trust me though, the DTS 5.1 presented here is a shell of its former self. The audio cues when time travel is initiated and a character steps through used to reverberate through the sub. The punches and kicks when Walker is fighting Atwood's goons near the beginning are lifeless and inert when compared to what came on in previous releases. Even the house explosion is fairly weak sauce. I even detected some light dialogue bleed through the fronts, first noticeable when Atwood is walking into his office and the secretary tells him about the jumper. When he says tragic, there is a slight overlap into the fronts. As for extras, there are absolutely no bonus materials of any kind included on either the 4K or Blu-ray disc. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Timecop on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray a B+. While I wouldn't go so far as to say this is a stellar upgrade over the Blu-ray, there's enough difference visually that the new 4K release gets the leg up. If you can stomach some pretty shoddy digital effects rendering, you might be pleased with the results. For the audio, I scored it a D. I'm sorry to say that for a movie I would often use to demo some audio settings in my early home theater days, I know full well what this track is capable of, and this is not it. I don't know if something got screwed up in transit, but sound is so much better than what is given here, and it's a clear downgrade. And for the extras, I graded them an F. I'm not sure you can necessarily fault Shout Factory for the lack of extras. They can only do so much, but since nothing is offered whatsoever, it gets the failing grade. So that is my review of Timecop on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray from Shout Factory. If you're interested in picking up a copy for yourself, I will leave a direct link in the comments section. But now it's your turn. Do you have the disc already? Let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.